Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to start my new garden journal today, where I'm going to write down everything I do in my garden and which seeds I'm going to use. So at the moment I'm trying to decide which textiles I'm going to use for the journal. And I have decided these ones, but then I think I want to have something more. These are eco-dyed pieces that I have done last year. I have some silk that are really beautiful, but they are a bit thin to put on the cover. But I will save these for ruffles. And then we need some linen for putting flaps on top of each other. That one is also nice. So I think I will put these aside. That one and that one. These are nice too, with some turquoise on. Save that. And that one with turquoise, that's my color. Okay, let's put these aside and start putting the journal together. So this is what we are going to work with. It's a book from the middle of 1800, and I have kind of trying to mend it. So I have put colored linen on the inside to keep it together from falling apart. And then we are going to do something about this yellowish tone. And then I'm going to put a flap on this so we get kind of a double cover for it. And I'm thinking I'm going to have this as a writing space, more like a notebook for quick notes when I have put the plants or the seeds into the soil and things I need to kind of keep track of. So let's start with deciding what we are going to have on the front of the books. So I don't want to cover the spine. I like this embossed old style of spine. But as you know, I'm not a yellowish girl, and this is so worn, so it has this almost yellow tone. So we are going to tone it down with some distress ink on the edges, and then put pieces of textile first, I think, and then some decorations on top of that. So that's my plan. So I first wasn't going to do the book on camera, but then I realized there might be some more than me that want to do a garden book. So we are going to make at least part of it together. So you can follow this if you want to do your own garden book. So I have prepared the book pages, and I'm going to cover it with this eco-dyed silk, kind of like this. And to get the silk to be straight and not move around, as it's a bit fiddly to work with, I have taken a thin paper that is the size I want on the book page and glued it down like this. Then I'm going to sew around the edge before I put it on to the book. So I will show you on the other one. It's much easier than if you want a straight line, as this kind of textile can move around and it's a bit elastic, and it's difficult to get it where you want it. So I'm just checking so I have the right side and where I want it to be. I think I want this one that is a little more soft. So then I'm taking my glue stick and I'm just going to do some gluing, just so we can keep it in place while we sew it. This is just for my own sake, to get it the way I want it. And making sure that I can get it flat like that, so the textile lays nice and flat. A little bit more in that corner to keep it in place while we are sewing. And then we can just cut around and sew near the edge. And then I'm going to have this as a flap on the book, and I'm going to do the same on this one, but I'm going to use another textile. This is a bit thicker, so we don't need to put it on any paper. I think I want this one. And just rounding the corners a little bit. I still want the book page to be seen a little bit so we can see that it's old, so I'm going to cut it a little bit more. Like that. And then we can glue that down. But I think I want to have the hinge textile on this side. I haven't decided that yet, so I don't want to put this in place until we have checked it out on to the book. So I'm going to sew these, and then we are ready to put the cover together. Now these are sewn, so these will go on the book like this on either side and cover up the yellow piece, but we still can see the nice edges of the book. And I will also distress the white thread a bit. I thought it could be nice, but now I can see that it's standing out a little bit too much. So I will distress that with a little ink. But we can do that later. But first, before we put those down, I'm going to prepare this part that will go on top of the cover as an extra flip. And I have taken a piece of linen, and I'm going to put that down like this, so that will hinge this, and we can open it like this and keep that in place. So let's glue that down. I'm using my liquid bookbinding glue, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the glue stick to keep it in place right away, as this is a bit liquid. I'm checking so it's as straight as possible. And I'm taking a little bit of extra glue and just do like this, because I don't want the edge of the linen to rip and give me threads. So I'm just kind of gluing it down, so the threads will stay in place. I'm taking off the excess, like that. Then to decorate this, I'm going to do some stitching. I just want to check this first, so it will go kind of right over that one. Just thinking if I'm going to embroider something on top of this before I put it down. So let's wait with that one. So now I'm going to take my tool for making some holes. You can use any kind of pokey tool that you have. This is my narrowest one, so I'm using that first. Then I have made some marks, holes all the way, and I'm just going to put this right through so I can embroider. Now we have some small holes. So then we need to decide which color we want to have on the embroidered piece. And I think I will go with kind of neutral white, or it's not quite white, a little bit of beige tone on it. So I will do a couple of stitches and then I will speed it up, so you don't need to see me doing the whole process. It will take a while, so let's start. So there we go, sewn all the way, and decorative and sturdy. So that's kind of nice. So now this one will go hinged like this on top of this. So we have a double flip on the top. So then I'm going to glue this down first, so that we can then put this on top of it and seal it. So then this won't go anywhere. So I'm deciding where I want it, and then I'm going to sew this together on my sewing machine. So I'm sure that this won't move later on. I want a little bit of space between. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a spine so I can get a few pages in it without any problems. So I'm kind of leaving 2 centimeters of this and then sew that on top of that one. So then we can flip this over and have it like this. So I have sewn another straight line here so that this piece of linen is sewn down properly. So now when we glue this down like this, this will hold it, hold this flip down. Like that. So it's totally secured. Okay, then we need to think about if we want to decorate this in some way. and I think we will. I think I want to have some kind of decoration on top of this. So I'm thinking maybe a picture, and then sew around it, or maybe some labels. So I will go and find something that I think will be nice, and then we can continue with decorating the front of the flip before we put everything down. It's much easier to sew it if we don't have it glued down. Okay, let's see if we can do some decoration for the front of the flip. I have taken a few labels and pieces of textile. Maybe I should use my glue book so I don't get glue all over the table. This is an old label from my farm that I have copied on thick paper from 1812. And then I have some handmade paper and a piece of textile that I love from an old quilt with blue roses on. So I think if I maybe should have used that as the kind of focal point. I go with the one with the script on. That was cute. That, and maybe another one. Let's make one in case I want that. This little one with some blue stripe around it. Put that on a piece of lace. Maybe we should take the glue stick. I'm going to sew around it, so I just want it to be kind of hold it in place while I'm sewing. Sew around the edges. So let's see how this looks. Maybe this one down there, a iron frame. And this one in the middle, and that one up in that corner. I think that will work. Okay, let's do like that. Don't overthink it. So I'm going to sew around the pieces on that's layered on top of each other, and then sew these on top of the textile piece. And I probably will sew it by hand, so I get some embroidery stitches on this one too. But let's put it down first and see how it looks. Now I have sewn around them on my sewing machine. A bit fiddly when they are so small, but it's cute. So let's put them down and see if we are going to put some embroidery on top of that. So I'm just going to glue them down first, and then we can sew a bit on top of it. I'm using my bookbinding glue, so I'm sure that it will stay in place. I had a question about that from the other recording I did yesterday. There was someone that didn't understand why I used this brush and what I was doing and what kind of medium I used. So I just had this very liquid glue that I have put water in because it was too thick, and now instead it was too liquid. So I just used the brush to put it out so it wouldn't be too much glue. So it wasn't anything that was kind of a secret or something. Just the glue that was too liquid, in case I didn't say that. And it's still too liquid, but my new bottle is on its way, so hopefully I will have it in the middle of the week, kind of tomorrow, hopefully. It's Wednesday today, so it's the middle of the week. And then this in the middle. Yes, I think we like this. Not too much, but still nice. And then some heavy stitching around this with some light thread against the blue. I think that will be good. So let's do the same with this one. I'm going to take my poke tool and do some holes straight through. I think I'm going to sew around the big one and leave the other two with glue. So let's start in the edge. I need to put it in the edge of the, so maybe to put it like this. And then we're going to do poke holes a bit out on the blue textile so we can see the stitching properly. Need to see the rough work. Like that. And then some sewing. And again, I'm going to show you the few first stitches, and then I will speed it up so you don't need to see me do all of this. That will be totally boring. It's sewn around, and I have added some gold like that. So I'm going to leave the gold to dry, and we will continue this in the next episode. So I hope you liked it. Please give me a thumbs up and tell me if you would like me to continue doing this step by step, or if you think that it's boring to see me do everything like this. So I will see you soon again, and have a nice evening. And until next time, bye bye from Sweden.